This is Back to Back.
Yo, what's up, back-to-backers? This is Willy Joy. Welcome to the show. This is Back to Back. This is my podcast. How you guys doing out there? How is everybody? How are we feeling? Whether you're at the gym, in the car, going to sleep, waking up, wherever you're at, I hope you're doing well. I've got a curveball for you guys today. I've been so excited to put this episode out. My guest on the show today is Kristian Nairn, a.k.a. Hodor from Game of Thrones. And you might be scratching your head a little bit to hear that. But let me tell you, Kristian Nairn has been a DJ for most of his life. He was a DJ long before he was a famous TV actor. And you know, he's actually an amazing DJ. He's played in some of the biggest clubs all over the world, released a bunch of great house music with a bunch more on the way. Just a fascinating guy and a really interesting path of how he got here. He's already had a long career. He's on tour right now. I'm going to tell you all about it in just a little bit. Before I do, I want to make sure everybody out there is subscribed to this show. Don't forget to click that subscribe button on whatever platform you're using to listen. Make sure to follow the Back to Bangers Spotify playlist. That's a playlist that I update every single week with brand new music from myself and my guests. It's a great little companion piece to this podcast, and people really seem to dig it. So, you know, hop on the train, have some fun, come party with us. And while we're at it, if you want to keep the party going, you can always email me at backtobackpod@gmail.com, or you can hit me up at Willy Joy or at backtobackpod on all social media. I love interacting with everybody out there. Love getting your feedback. I've been getting some really cool emails lately. I think in the upcoming episodes, I'm going to read a few of them and respond. I do that every once in a while, you know, when I really feel like rambling. But today, I'm going to keep it short and sweet because I want to tell you more about this interview with Kristian Nairn. I met up with him in San Diego. He was in town for Comic-Con, but he wasn't there promoting Game of Thrones. He was there to DJ a gig. You know, he's kind of reached this really cool intersection of his TV career, his music career. The two fan groups have kind of merged into this really interesting group of people. I think he's really out there educating people about dance music, and he has some serious history in the game. We talk about this in the interview because once he became a TV star, Game of Thrones went so crazy, I think it just ate up everybody's bandwidth. But now that the show is winding down, and now that his character was killed, you know, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm sorry, but that was years ago, you know, it's no spoilers here. He's been able to take all of his interests, bring them together into one awesome career. Really fascinating the way he built this. Such an interesting guy. He's on tour right now. If you're going out to Ibiza this summer, you might see him. He's got some dates coming up out there. Make sure to follow him at kristiannairn.com. I'm going to put the link to that in the description of this episode. He's also working on some new movies and planning some new music for later this year. We talk about all of it in this conversation. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones like I am, man, you know I just had to do this interview. So let's get into it right now. This is me and Kristian Nairn, back to back. Let's go.
Well, I would like to start by saying I've never seen such beautiful violet headphones.
Oh, thank you. They were a gift from
Someone who hates you.
Shout out to Urban Ears who gave me these like 4 years ago.
They're beautiful. They really are. They're inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm just trying to express myself via free swag that people give me.
Nice. What better way?
Yeah, right? You know, it's one of the few perks of this lifestyle is every once in a while someone gives you a mid-level product. They're probably not listening.
Yeah, let's hope not.
Yeah.
That's the last mid-level product you'll get.
Yeah. Well, okay, wait. This is great, actually, because I think you probably will have a great story about this, and I've never told this story on the podcast. The best free swag you've ever been given. or just the most ludicrous one? I'll start with mine while you think, because mine is I love telling this story. And it actually has to do with Ireland. I was DJing for
I've got it. Sorry, Rick, go ahead.
Yeah, I was DJing for this rapper named Kid Sister back in the day.
Okay.
And we were playing a sponsored show in Dublin. And Tommy Hilfiger was one of the sponsors.
Mm-hmm.
And so during the day, they took us to the Tommy Hilfiger store in Dublin.
Okay.
And it was the only time in my entire life where the guy just literally said, "Take whatever you want." And I looked at him, because that's every little kid's, you dream of a shopping spree.
Yeah, supermarket sweep.
Yeah. And boy, I cleaned them out.
Wow. Well, why not?
Yeah, it
That's
was
what it's there
unbelievable.
for.
It's still a great memory. They shouldn't have let us do it, but yeah,
No.
we took them to the cleaners.
Well, I actually have two different ones. One's monetarily probably the biggest, and one is just from my heart the biggest.
Yes.
The monetary one is from a fantastic Australian jeweler, a super talented jeweler called Atonal Goldsmith.
Okay.
And it was for the premiere of Game of Thrones. I think it was season 4. And we talked about making this chain, almost like a rap chain.
Yeah.
Like a mayor of a town or something.
Yeah,
That's just
like
something
a
really
chain with a
sick.
capital
I didn't
C.
want to wear I'm not a person who wears a top and a suit. Or
Right.
I've worn suits in the past, but I always felt very uncomfortable. I wanted to wear something strange.
Yeah.
Because I am strange. So I'm quite happy with that. And we talked about my love of rabbits and the movie Watership Down.
Okay.
And he made me this fucking off-the-hook chain. It weighs a ton. It's the whole chain is made out of... It's huge now, man. Even on me, it's huge.
Really?
And it goes down to about here. The chain is made... The actual links are made out of running rabbits.
Oh, wow.
And each one has rubies in its eyes. And it's huge, alien rabbit. Like a Geiger type rabbit in the middle with a huge stone in the middle and covered in gold and silver.
Holy shit.
I was like...
That's a legit, rap
I
pendant.
thought I was going to have to sell my house. And he just gave it to me.
Wow.
And I have that insured for high 5 figures.
Wow.
And that was it's a one-off. It's a museum piece. But this is quite funny. I'm a huge World of Warcraft fan.
Okay.
And I got a studio tour of Blizzard maybe 6 years ago. And for me, that was like Willy Wonka, man.
Right, yeah.
I was like a
visiting
kid.
Mecca.
And they get celebrity visitors there all the time. I'm not going to name anybody, but I mean, we love your game. It's a great company to be affiliated with. I really love that game, man. I've lost friends and partners over that game. I was able to tell them things about the game that they mightn't have known.
Yeah.
I'm so into it. At the end of the tour, you always get to go to the loot closet, which is all the sort of the merchandise.
Right.
We went into this closet and it was like Nirvana. It was all the stuff, and they handed me a bin bag, and I was like,
man.
I mean, you're supposed to put a few items in it, apparently. So I filled this bin bag, and I turned around to the guy, and I was like, can I get another one? And he was like, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So I ended up with 3 bin bags.
Amazing.
And a foam sword. And apparently to this day, there's a Hodor rule. You get one item. One item. Because I took all the rest.
System for everybody
I
else.
broke it. So if you're in Blizzard and they won't give you shit, it's my fault. And I have it all.
That's incredible. Where do you put it?
Well, my mother doesn't let me put it on display in my own house.
You're right.
So some of it, I've got some of it out, but the ones that she doesn't like, I have to put in the attic.
I mean, people really do get passionate about that game. I was a gamer much earlier on in my life, and then I kind of realized that I had no self-control with it, and that if I wanted to accomplish anything else, I kind of just had to cold turkey stop. But I have so many friends, both then and now, that are still huge gamers. I mean, I almost lost friends to World of Warcraft.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, people just don't understand. Why are you forgoing my offers of friendship and doing things in the real world? You're sitting in a darkened room, clicking on a keyboard.
But I mean, not only is that a super fun game, but it's
Yeah, I will interject here, and not only have I met some of my best friends.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, I think it's hard for people to understand the idea of online communities unless you're a part of one.
Get with it, guys. You're out there with your Tinder and eHarmony, and at least I get to kill them first. I'm sort of at the other end of the circle. You're going to end up killing them. I start off by killing them, and you're like, hey. Yeah. Your corpse is hot.
Right. yeah. It's a great line. Well, I mean, I remember even in my childhood, I was a huge heavy metal kid.
As was I.
Yeah, and some of my earliest, and also an awkward kid, socially.
As was I.
Yeah, there you go.
As am I still.
Yeah, right. I think that's true for so many DJs and musicians in general. And one of my first memories was that there were online message boards for metal bands. And that was how I really first felt like a part of any community, honestly.
Well, I'm going to beat you on this one. I remember going to the local music shop and putting up notes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then you'd wait for your physical bulletin board. And you get all excited. Someone might take one of your little tags, which you'd made, like a missing person.
Right. But wait, what would yours say?
I would say, fucking kick-ass guitar player needs similar gods.
Yes.
I never got any replies, funny enough.
I wonder why.
This guy thinks he's Steve Vai.
Yeah.
Fuck him. But yeah, I mean, people would ring and you'd go and hang out and you might end up becoming friends and, it was a lot of fun.
And this was in Northern Ireland, the 70s, 80s?
I'm not 100.
No, you were born in the 70s.
I was born in 1975.
Okay.
So at 5, I wasn't in the music store putting up Dear John messages.
I don't know. Maybe you were the Northern Ireland Michael Jackson.
Oh,
How do I
my
know?
God. We're talking probably 90s.
Yeah.
90s. Oh, my God. That made T-Rex.
Yeah. So how early did you get involved with music at all, learning instruments?
3.
Okay.
My mum was determined that I would play the piano. And
how did that go?
I hated it.
Yeah.
But I'm very thankful that she did. Because it's a very sound platform for everything.
Yes.
Everything else.
My mom tried to, and I won't say I won the battle, but I was just a shitty learner at the time, and it didn't.
Me too.
It didn't stick, and I wish the same way with you. Like, I wish I had let her do what she wanted to do now.
Yeah, but then I think to progress to the level of anything significant, you have to have a passion for it.
Yes.
I never had that passion for the piano, but I'm just glad I learned the fundamentals of music that way. But I never had. I mean, I look at my friends now, and some of them are amazing pianists, and I'm a bit jealous.
Yeah,
There's something wonderful about watching someone.
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I think for all of the technology that we use in our current career path, still to me the most affecting, the most powerful shit I could possibly see is just, somebody with a good voice or somebody who can play a simple instrument really well. There's something about that just reaches into you. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I recently got to know a guy in LA called Xander Hawley.
Okay.
I don't know if you've heard of him. He's like a American sort of folk singer.
I don't think I know him.
No, he's early 20s.
Yeah.
And good friends of a friend of mine, and we're just sitting on a balcony. He had his acoustic guitar. And you're right. It's just, I mean, I guess it's like watching a DJ connect with a crowd. It's like watching him connect with his guitar. I mean, it's just that moment of connection that people admire and people are looking for. I think that's why DJs and musicians have groupies, and I think that's why some people's partners are attracted to them in some way, because I've definitely had partners before who were most attracted to me when I was working.
Right. Oh, yeah. And I mean, you go into any club in 2018, you see it, man. I mean, whoever's playing, there's people trying to get close to them. You know?
I mean, I just think you're putting out so much energy.
Yeah.
You're like a light bulb.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it, because there's plenty of DJs who don't even try to really put on a show or try to be... and I shouldn't say don't try to put on a show, but I'm talking about this sexy rock star kind of image,
I'm not interested in doing a Jesus Christ pose.
Right.
Which so many people are. I'm not interested in jumping up and down. No, I'm going to say some horrible things here, but I don't mean I disrespect any of my...
No.
Because I love what people like Steve Aoki, and they're such an amazing brand and
right.
stuff.
You just have to be authentic to yourself.
Exactly. That's his thing. But for me, there's nothing like just being in a dark room with a strobe light, with hundreds of people in front of you, and they're sweating, and you're sweating with them, You know, I love it when people forget to look. I love it when people like, because I get two different types of crowds: people who are there to see me as Kristian Nairn, and people who are there to hear the music.
Right.
And I know when people have turned their backs on me,
Right.
and I'm just like, yes,
They've actually managed to like find their little zone.
yeah, exactly. They've transcended what I am in some ways.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I didn't really think about that. That, you know, at this point in your career, probably you do get some attention, not that you don't want, but that's maybe
No.
coming from a misguided place.
No, it's not misguided.
Right.
I mean, it's just different. I mean, it's easy to sort of quantify it, because when I first started acting, people didn't know I'd been to acting school for a little, and they were like, this guy did some research on me on the internet, and they're like, oh, he's a DJ, he's a musician, he's going to be shit.
Right.
He's going to be shit in this part. Oh, burn all my books.
Yeah.
Let's go and assault George R. Martin and burn
Right.
his house down. So there was a drama.
Yeah.
And then when it came out, there was a DJ. They were like, oh, he's one of those dreadful Paris
Celebrity
Hilton.
DJs.
Yeah. And I'm like, how can I fucking win? You know?
But I mean, it is important to point out that, you know, before any of the Game of Thrones, any of the acting fame, I mean, you were already a DJ, right? For a long time.
Been a club promoter, a DJ, a guitar player, a singer, a drag queen. These
Well-
are all the things. And like, people, even recently when I did that whole guitar thing with Megadeth, people were like, fuck me, can play the guitar as well. And I'm like, it's not rocket science. I mean, it's not as if I did open heart surgery on live on Instagram.
Right.
But
there's this funny idea, right, that when you gain some sort of notoriety, that's when your life starts to a lot of
that's
people.
right, yeah. I mean, is that the way it is? I don't know. Is that just the way it is for everybody?
I feel like probably, yeah, because then, you know, you learn that other people, and some celebrity has some talent. And I think for a lot of people that only know them as the celebrity, they're like, well, how the fuck when did they have time to do that? You know, nobody is born famous.
I sometimes wonder if people come to my shows and for the first time and they see me DJing, is it like seeing one of your teachers outside school?
right.
Like,
They
"Huh?"
don't, you kind of freeze. You don't know how to act.
Yeah. Why aren't you wearing your suit? Why, you know, why are you in jeans?
Right. I mean, I think that's true for meeting any, I'm sure you've had this experience. I've done this a million times where you meet a celebrity or somebody you look up to and they're just kind of a normal person and they don't have that air about them. And then personally, sometimes then I don't know how to act because I've just known them as this celebrity.
Yeah. What do you prefer? Do you prefer them to have a bit of a David Hasselhoff about them?
You know what I really prefer is just not to meet them at all.
Well,
Like,
there's the door, man. Yeah.
Well, no, but you know, with you, I think there's a connection because we're both DJs and we can kind of speak the same language. But with someone who's that I have no connection to at all.
No frame of reference whatsoever. Yeah.
It's just that thing, you know, they say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah.
I do kind of think that's true in a lot of cases.
It's been a couple of times I've met quite a few really famous people now.
Yeah.
Most times people are great.
Right.
You know, most times people are great.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely been a few times I've been disappointed.
There's always one or two, right?
Yeah, but you know what? And we all have bad days.
That's the thing. And, you know, I mean, the life of a celebrity, and I'm sure you can speak to this even at your level of celebrity, I mean, it's weird. And it's
weird.
hard, and it's people treat you differently.
Yeah.
And
I can only imagine what Brad Pitt goes through.
yeah, I think about that, you know?
Yeah.
Like he can't leave his house sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's not what I want.
No, not at all.
I don't want it for him either. I don't want to be the person to be waiting outside his house either.
Right.
I think I would be too self-aware to do that.
Yes.
You know?
Well, how did you start dealing with this? I'm kind of jumping around, but you know, when you first were on Game of Thrones and you had that first rush of public notoriety.
Well, there wasn't, man.
Really?
Well, there was. I mean, it's hard to say. Game of Thrones is what it is now, but for the first 2 seasons, it's kind of a slow burner. I mean, not in America. It was huge here.
Yeah.
But it's in England, or in the UK, it kind of, this is great. You know what I mean? This is really good.
Right.
But people didn't really go mad about it.
Sure.
And then I would say around season 3,
That's when it started.
it was really good for us because a lot of us cast members, it was like our first professional big gig. And it sort of taught us slowly how to handle things.
Yeah, work you into it.
Yeah. I don't know if we'd had that level since day one, I think it would have been very different.
And for you, I mean, you're a big guy. There's no hiding for you, right?
No, I mean, there's a bit of a running joke with other cast members. It's going out with me is either a blessing or a curse,
Right.
Because usually they'll beeline for me, and they might not see the other people,
Right, yeah, you take all the hits.
and I will never out my other cast members unless they piss me off.
Yeah.
Which it happens. Yeah. It happens, and I'll be like, "Oh, look." Don't forget about him.
Right.
But normally, I sort of serve as a distraction.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to do that.
Fair. Yeah, you don't. I mean, you seem like a pretty chill person. You're giving me a look that maybe you're not. But
Sometimes. I mean, we all have shitty days,
oh,
man.
sure.
But I try to always put myself in other people's shoes.
Yeah.
They don't know what's happening in my life. They don't know my cat's just... I don't have a cat. But if my phantom cat has just died.
Sure, yeah.
They don't know if that's happened.
Right.
And that's the first time they've met someone they look up to. And I'm not going to go, fuck off.
Right.
Which I've seen happen
Oh, yeah.
with other people.
Absolutely.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
I just can't physically do it. Now, I'm not going to say I haven't been grumpy, because I have been grumpy, because like I hate airports.
Yeah.
And that's the worst place to talk to me, because I fucking hate them. And I'll be sweaty, and I'll be tired, my back's sore, and someone... it's fine. Or else, they'll call, if you're lucky enough to be in the first class queue, and someone's like, they call the first class line, I'm like, would you mind having the photo? And they start talking, they're giving
man.
I'm like, I want to get on the first class queue. I paid for this.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for you, bitches.
I worked hard for this.
Yeah, and then I'm standing here talking about fucking how much your mother wants to shag Jamie Lannister. And I'm like, this is very interesting, but I could be sitting in my beautiful leather seat.
Right.
But
Well, let's take it back to before the leather seats in the first class.
and there really was a lot before that.
So you were born in Northern Ireland.
Yeah, in Belfast.
Like Belfast.
Well, no, there's a little town called Lisburn,
Okay.
which is a city now, actually. But
I'm not 100% ignorant. I'd give myself maybe 50% ignorant about what growing up in Northern Ireland in the 70s and 80s must have been like.
interesting.
Your experience, was it a small town kind of experience?
I grew up on a farm.
On a farm?
Yeah, I was the only child
Okay.
on a farm.
Wow.
Yep. Then there were many friends close to me.
So that sounds kind of isolated.
It was isolated.
What did your parents do? Just
I
farming?
only know my mum.
Okay.
My mum she's my sole parent. Never met my father. So we lived with my grandparents on the farm, and my mum kind of raised me with my grandmother. I could not have asked for a better upbringing. My mum was my mother, my inspiration, and my playmate at the same time.
Right.
So she had to fulfill all these roles as well as
Right.
bring in money. I don't know how she did it.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So we did not have much money when I was growing up at all. It was really tight. Honestly, though, my childhood memories are lovely. Playing with the animals, a lot of wide open space. But it was lonely.
Sure.
But it also makes me now, as an adult, I crave solitude. When I've been to an event, or even when I'm DJing, I mean, I almost run to my hotel room afterwards.
Right,
It's
right.
like,
No, I very much relate to that. I mean, would you say that you're an introverted person?
yeah, but I'm also an extrovert.
Sure.
But is that not the typical introverted extrovert?
Right, but
That's
I think in this kind of career, you kind of have to be that way.
You have to keep it part of yourself, man.
Right. And you have to learn, even if it doesn't feel natural, how to be around people, right?
Yeah.
And how to be sociable and friendly and,
Yeah.
not the weird guy in the corner.
Well, do you know what, man? The weird guy in the corner is often the most talented,
Yes.
and often the most sensitive and the most interesting person in the room. And I have been the weird guy in the corner, and I continue to be sometimes. I can be in a room full of other actors. I can confidently sit in the corner and have a beer, look at what's going on in the room, and I can be confident that I'm the only person in the room who truly knows who they are. People scramble for like a place in the hierarchy, and they're all showing off their tasks. And
Right.
I was like, what, really?
Yeah,
Can we
that's
not
an
just talk
interesting...
about, have you been on holiday? I'd rather know where you've been on holiday.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? Or
Can we just talk
how's
like
the- how's
normal
the dog?
people? Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you think that, growing up somewhat in isolation, somewhat removed, do you think that's kind of where that sense of self came from?
It's continually evolving.
Sure, of course, but I guess
I've even
I
changed
just
in the
mean...
in the last couple of years. I've changed.
Yeah. I guess I just more mean in the sense of, if there aren't a lot of other kids around, I think, if a kid grows up and he's surrounded by other kids, you're sort of always judging yourself and feeling judged and trying to figure out how you fit in.
Yeah, it's immensely important to fit in in that circumstance. But for me, it's more important to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that is the most important thing in life.
Well, and it sounds like music was something you latched onto early.
Yeah, really early. I mean, most of my teenage memories are associated with a certain song or a certain artist or type of music, and I definitely use music to work through the solitude, and all my teenage weird feelings, and obviously the gay thing as well. And
when if you're comfortable talking about, when did does
a chicken have a pecker?
I mean, when did you become aware of that as a kid?
I never wasn't aware.
Okay.
I mean, people say it's unnatural, and it couldn't be more natural. I mean, I was never coerced into anything. My mum didn't dress me in like pink leotards.
Oh, sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I worked at a farm. It was very much, there were men around and stuff. And it's a thing that happens so fucking subtly. You'll be watching Star Wars and Luke Skywalker activates his lightsaber. Yeah. And you're like, You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh God, what's this? Right. Why do I have this feeling? And for me it was, I remember, God, I'd really like to be friends with Luke Skywalker. And I always, when I was in school, I always changed my friends a lot.
Sure.
My main best friend. I had my main best friend, and then I would like sort of dump him for a while, and then I would like maybe take up with another guy, and I would be really good friends with him. And then only in retrospect did I realize I probably had a crush on these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I didn't know what it was.
Right.
But at that time, I would be like, what am I going to do?
Sure.
I'm gonna like be like rubbing two Barbies together.
Yeah, right.
I don't know what I'm gonna do
it's
here.
the same as the lightsaber thing. You're just like, why do I like this? Or like,
I mean, it's not literally a lightsaber.
Right. No, I know what you mean, but
like that's too phallic for me to let that slide.
Yeah, it's a little too on the nose. But
it was never an issue of shame for me, and never an issue of me having to hide it.
How did the music thing evolve for you? Post piano, like what was the first thing you really latched onto that you kind of found yourself?
Oh, I remember I bought my first guitar when I was about 11 or 12.
Okay.
And it was a horrible Encore cream guitar, and I didn't even bother to string it. I just wanted to pose in front of the mirror. Yeah. For about a year, I posed in front of the mirror with like one string on it.
Amazing.
But then I thought one day, I might learn how to play this.
Right.
So, about 12 years old it was, and it didn't feel like sitting at a piano. The guitar to me felt powerful.
Yeah.
Like you've got a weapon in your hands.
Sure.
And, you can make all this noise with this tiny thing. And
what kind of music were you into at the time? Were you trying to emulate anyone?
Yeah, man. I mean, Megadeth.
Yeah.
I started with the best of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I could solo before I could play chords. I learned the solos the other way around.
Right. You kind of did it backwards. Yeah.
The guitar really changed my life.
And was
really
metal the thing for you at that time?
Yeah, it still is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to metal a lot, but it hasn't really progressed from the 90s, sort of.
Yeah.
I haven't followed new bands.
It's weird, right? I feel
a lot of people haven't.
Yeah. I will say I know some metalheads, some friends of mine who are into a lot of current stuff. And, when they're around, they'll play me things, and it's good. I think I don't know, the stuff that meant so much to me as a kid, I feel like it's really hard to recapture that feeling.
I agree. Is that because we're in a different place as a person?
Probably, right?
I think a band that's really kept it going is Alice in Chains, and that's with also losing their main vocalist as well. I mean,
it's hard to do.
And also Jonathan Davis from Korn, his latest solo album is outstanding.
Yeah, I heard some songs. Really good.
It's really good, man. Honestly, it's like Sisters in Mercy, like a heavier Sisters in Mercy. It's all like throwback to the 90s sound.
I mean, Korn for me was a formative band.
Yeah.
They were so huge.
I interviewed him like a week or two ago, and it's just to be sitting across the couch from Jonathan Davis. It's just like...
And he DJs as well,
He does, yeah. He's done some stuff with Aoki and stuff.
Right.
It's really heavy electro stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, fuck me, Pink. It's really hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, let us not forget, I've actually mentioned this on this show before, Korn did make a dubstep album.
Really?
Yeah, they're about, I'd say 5 to 7 years ago, they brought in a bunch of the big dubstep guys like 12th Planet and Skrillex and Kill the Noise.
Yeah.
And, each producer basically produced a dubstep track with the band. So it's, it's still Korn, it's still Jonathan and the guitars and everything, but then there's drops and there's crazy dubstep noises. I won't say it's the most successful project they've ever done, but just the fact that they even had the idea to do that, I assume that was Jonathan Davis,
I would
spearheading it. I've always been such a huge fan, man.
He's awesome. Really nice guy too.
So for you, you're playing the guitar, very young, you're out on the farm. I'd imagine you're spending hours a day getting better and better.
Better and better, and my skill work was getting worse and worse. And,
did you have the thought, or when did you have the thought that music might be something you wanted to pursue as more than just a hobby?
That was pretty much probably 15,
really?
16. Because I was damn good at the guitar, man. I mean, people were shocked how good it was in the video last week. That was with no practice. I mean, we're talking, it's been years since I played those songs.
Yeah.
I mean, if I got up to the standard it was, man, I was a damn good guitar player.
Yeah.
And I had a really weird way of doing things because I've got big hands.
Oh, sure.
And it was really unique.
I assume you did the band thing when you were a kid, too.
Yeah.
Metal bands?
No, man, because unfortunately, by the time I got to the standard, grunge had just finished, and the life of the soloing guitar player was really at an end for now. And all I wanted to do was play like Poisons or Motley Crue type music and big heavy riffs, and no one wanted to hear that anymore.
Right.
And it made me very sad.
Yeah.
I remember I would go along to these like auditions for bands, and this is sort of what you can do, and I'd be like, and I'm like, we don't need that.
Right.
And I've just spent the last 10 years.
And now you tell me?
Yeah, But probably the most successful band I was with, we did a couple of dates on a tour with Scissor Sisters.
Oh, okay.
It was called Daddy's Little Princess. The lead singer was like a drag queen, like David Bowie-esque voice. I mean, it's serious stuff. It was really good. I actually played bass for them terribly. That was like sort of...
Was that the first like...
David Bowie meets sort of Sex Pistols meets maybe Scissor Sisters.
Yeah.
But it was really fucking good.
That sounds cool.
It really was good. Yeah.
And was that your first experience, like going on tour, in a serious kind of way?
All the backstage stuff and everything.
Right.
It's very infectious.
Yeah, once you get a taste of it, right?
Yeah, like that ramp onto the stage, there's something very special about rising up onto that ramp and seeing the crowd sort of appear.
Sure.
And I guess it's similar when I'm DJing as well. Like I played 4,000 cap venues. That's the biggest solo show I've done so far. And I did that in Dallas in the Bomb Factory. That has a very similar ramp up onto the stage.
That's a great venue.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That night, man. Yeah, Dallas is a great town.
Texas is good for dance music right now.
Dude, seriously, I never don't have a sellout show in Texas. As sometimes you go to, I might go to San Francisco, and I've probably been in San Francisco 6 times. I've probably sold out five concerts, but then there was one. There's maybe 10 people there.
Yeah.
But then in Dallas or in fucking, God, you Americans,
San
you've got so
Antonio?
many fucking places. San Antonio, I've been in Mission Viejo, not Mission Viejo, that's up the road.
Yeah, that's right here.
Mission, Texas.
Mission, Texas?
Yeah, like down the south, across the border. It's sold out.
Right.
And I'm like, really?
Yeah, even some of those I've done some border town shows that are crazy down there.
Yeah, and I've had such a good time. And so if you're in Texas and you're listening, thank you. I mean, everywhere. America has been very good to me.
Well, when did you first come to America at all? Not, even if not for music.
I came to visit my friend.
Okay.
I had just been cast in Game of Thrones. No one knew who I was. I had 50 followers on Twitter. Things started. I think by the time I left, I had 500. I remember I was in New York City with my friend, and I was like, "Oh my God, I've got 500 followers." He's like, "Oh God,
yeah, here we go,
insufferable piece of shit." Yeah, we met through Warcraft.
Oh, nice.
That was my first time in the States. I went and stayed with his parents in Washington, D.C.
Well, that's a pretty good introduction to the U.S., New York and D.C.
I love the States, man. I mean, people have mixed views about it across the sea. And I'm like, how can you say you don't like the United States of America? Because it's so big.
Right.
Like, have you been to every state? Have you been to every city?
Yeah.
There's cities I don't particularly like, but
you don't
all you
have
have
to
to
go
do is
there.
cross the border. And you're in like the most amazing place you've ever been.
Right. Right.
It has everything here.
How did you get into electronic music? We haven't even talked about that yet.
Well, it was just through my love of going to clubs, man.
What was the first club experience?
Well, I mean, the thing was, I used to go to this club in Belfast called the Limelight, and it was all metal. It was metal and like Rage Against the Machine. You could almost set your watch by the time a song would be played.
Right.
It was amazing though, and I had my false ID and all to get in. They used to have a gay night on a Monday night, and I'd be like, I hadn't told my friends or anything at this stage just because I wasn't ready to.
Sure.
And I'd be like, oh, gay night on a Monday night. Oh my god, who would go there? And you know, they'd all fuck off. Yeah, and I'd be like, yeah. And then on Monday night, I'd be there. I'd make sure they weren't there.
Right.
And I would go back, and that was where I first heard sort of house music, and then I moved on. I mean, it's all through gay clubs. I mean, I think gay clubs back then were more progressive musically.
Yeah.
I mean, I think gay clubs used to lead the way with house music.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
I don't think anymore.
Well, and that's the whole thing. And in 2018, especially in the US, you know, EDM as a culture has blown up so big.
Yeah.
But I don't think that a lot of the younger generation necessarily knows where it all came from.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's maybe one of a million aims I have with this show, is to talk about that, because I mean, the birth of dance music comes from queer culture.
Yeah.
You know, it comes from the discos in the 70s.
That's right.
And house music directly, you know, I mean, I'm from Chicago, which is where house music is born.
Right.
And all of that just comes directly from queer culture.
Yeah.
And so I completely agree with you. I mean, not only was it progressive, but at a certain time, that's the only place it lived.
That's right. I miss that. I mean, you would hear funky house, you would hear hard house, you would hear techno, trance, all in the gay bars. These days, you're lucky if you hear Kristian Aguilera or
right.
Britney. I mean, I'm not going to, obviously, there are amazing gay dance clubs.
Yes.
I'm not gonna, but on a whole, it's definitely changed. And that makes me very sad.
Yeah.
Because I played in the same venue for nearly 20 years, and I saw the evolution, and fuck me, did I fight. I fought hard against it.
Yeah.
And I did. I held on, man. I still managed to play a credible set right until the end. But now, I did a gig there like maybe 6 months ago, and my old club, and I just fell flat on my face.
Yeah, just a different vibe.
It's just a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's just all about knowing the music now, knowing that want to sing along and do your dance moves and all your artistic dancing.
Right. And it's not even, at least for me, I don't even think of it as better or worse. You know, it's just a different time, and yeah. But there is something.
No, it is worse.
Yeah.
No, let's be honest. Come on.
I mean, I don't know, man. I think there's a danger of becoming the old guy who says,
yeah, totally. No, I'm not into that. Oh, in the days.
Right.
Back in the day. That's my least favorite saying.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah, it's just...
It's not as if house music isn't being produced anymore, or, I mean, it's still there. It's just... It's not like a music that doesn't... I mean, it's still a current form of music. It's not as if I want them to play Earth, Wind and Fire.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
No, but I know it's a hard line to walk, right? Between wanting to celebrate the roots and where you come from as, you know, your evolution, something that's authentic to you.
I don't even feel like I do celebrate the roots, but people do tell me that I have a very classic house music sound.
Sure.
But I don't strive for that.
Sure. Well, and I think that's probably as it should be, right? You're just doing what you like to do. And that's authentic to you and other people. That's for other people to analyze, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they can do that all they want.
Yeah.
As long as there's people coming through the door, I'm happy.
And so that residency, what was the name of the club? Kremlin in Belfast.
Yeah, sort of ironic now these days for the name of a gay bar. You know, but...
And I think of Northern Ireland, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because I've never actually been to Northern Ireland, but I think of it as a more conservative place. And
we're the only place in the British Isles where you can't have an abortion, you can't marry your partner as a gay person.
And so growing up and going to these clubs, did it feel, I mean, was it sort of a secretive thing?
Yeah, man. But also, if you look at Belfast queer history, during the really bad troubles in the 70s, where no one went into the city centre in Belfast. In fact, it was sealed off. You couldn't actually enter the centre of Belfast.
Right.
The only people you would have saw were gay people.
Interesting.
And they continued to party. And I absolutely fucking love that.
Yeah, it just couldn't be stopped.
No, just couldn't be stopped. But there might be a bomb in the building. That's okay. Just put Donna Summer on. Oh, we're absolutely fine. It's all good.
I love that too, man. Fuck.
Yeah, I mean, you can't stop the beat. You know what I mean? That's what I feel. And
and
I've
that's
DJed through riots.
sure.
I've DJed through fires.
Well, and
I've DJed in back of buses.
I think that people forget too in this day and age that, music, especially dance music back in those days, I mean, it was by its nature political too, right? I mean, it was a cultural movement. The people participating in it all were kind of sharing values, which nowadays it's blown up to such a big degree that there's just so many people who like this music. I think it's impossible to have that kind of shared ideal.
Yeah, it's not like an underground movement anymore. I mean, I played with Fatboy Slim recently, and it was 10,000 cap arena, and I was like, what am I going to play here? It's all within a certain bandwidth for me, but I could play it more up, or I could play it more sort of, And I just thought, you know what, fuck this. I'm going to play it,
Right.
Because I knew it was going to be an older crowd.
Yeah.
Sort of my age group. I played one of these songs that, I mean, I don't even have to say a name because you're going to know what I'm talking about. It has like the big gospel Martin Luther King type vocal in the middle, all about coming together and house music and everything.
Sure.
And I just watched the crowd, and it just brought me right back, man. And the next thing I knew, there was tears.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? And I was just like, will you listen to this, you little fucking shit?
I mean, did you feel like you were connecting? Or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a super minimal song as well. It wasn't like one of the big piano-y ones. And it's still there, man. Yeah. The energy's still there, especially in this. I mean, I don't want to sound like fucking UN peacekeeper, but it's really fucking fragmented out there at the minute.
Right.
I like the fact that people can still come together in a room, and you don't need to know that you vote Republican or fucking Democrat. I mean, are you off your face on ketamine? Or are you on your face on ecstasy? It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Are you gay? Are you straight? Whatever. Just dance, you bastards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And get sweaty.
That's maybe the thing I miss the most. I mean, I remember growing up, and I grew up in the Midwest, U.S., and I was a little raver kid. I was going to, kind of these illegal parties out in the sticks, weird improvised spaces.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was great. It was super fun. And what I really remember is exactly what you just said. People of all ethnicities, all sexual orientations, backgrounds, races, everything just all together. And these were people, I mean, I just come from a middle-class background. I went to a pretty nice high school that was mostly white kids. And so for me, it opened up all these new worlds, and I met all these people from different walks of life. And it was just the music that did that for me. Yeah. And had I not gone to those, I think my worldview would have been much smaller. Yeah.
People don't think that club culture is important, but when you hear stories like that and maybe things that I've said, it is important. It's a hugely formative part of who I am.
Was that the club culture, was that kind of how you got into the drag culture as well? Or did that come first?
It came first, actually, because I wouldn't have had the confidence to stand. And at that stage, I wouldn't have had the confidence to stand in front of a room, just me, and be the one who's everyone's night out depends on you,
right? And
the record that you play. I developed a drag alter ego to act as a shield, so I could sort of grow behind it. I didn't know that at the time,
right?
But on reflection, that's why I did it. After about 5-6 years of doing that, and then I sort of crossed over for a while. I DJed and drag for a while, and then I just thought, fuck this, I don't need this anymore. I'll never forget the first night I just stood there in like jeans and t-shirt.
Right.
That was a very naked feeling.
I can imagine, yeah. Was it sort of just like a chrysalis kind of moment, Like it took you to that point?
I think I'd gone back to the caterpillar more. I think
Okay.
But I don't think you need to be a butterfly to be a DJ.
No, that's very true.
I think you better be in a caterpillar.
That's the funniest thing to me with all the people look at DJs as so glamorous and rock stars, jet setters. But really, I mean, we're guys who sit in front of a computer.
To me, Eric Preds is one of my favorite DJs, my favorite producers.
Yeah.
I don't really play his sort of music, but I listen to it, and I just admire him so much, his sense of melody, his choice of synths, everything. He's just a legend for me. And like me, he stands on stage in a black t-shirt with his cap pulled down over his face. He might dance around every now and then,
right.
And that's it. But it's all about the music.
Yeah.
All about the music and the graphics. Yeah. And he's been behind it. And it's the same as Deadmau5. I have a huge amount of respect for Deadmau5.
Yeah. Yeah, say what you will about him. You know, he has kind of this like prickly public persona, but you can't argue with what he's accomplished, and the way he puts his art out is very impressive.
I mean, I was lucky enough to spend some time with him. I got to stay in his house, and man, he's just a great guy.
Yeah.
He is a great guy, and I don't know if Joel would agree with me on this, but I saw a little bit of myself in him, but he's way more talented than me. Never seen anyone who crafts sounds that he does. Someone who plans his shows down to the nth detail.
Right.
Builds a fucking DJ box and lights for your own show.
Yeah.
In a warehouse somewhere, like.
Oh no, he's
Who
a
else does
genius.
that?
It's undeniable.
And people just come along and go, oh, he's a troll on the internet. He's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
He deserves everything he has and more.
Yeah. I think honestly, and he's not alone in this, I think social media kind of, it hurt him in a way because I feel like he got trapped in that mode of interaction a little bit.
Yeah, man.
And
social media is a trap.
Yeah, it could be for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do it as much as I probably should for my own career, but
me neither. I should be using it way more than I do, but
yeah, but it gives me anxiety, man. I can only do it so much.
Yeah, and I just don't get into things on the internet because I don't think there's a way to win.
Well, yeah, that's a great point. When's the last time anyone won an argument on the internet?
It's always just a point of view, and
yeah,
I'm a private person. I don't need everyone to know my points of views and everything either. You know,
right.
Whatever. I mean, I'm an entertainer. If I entertain you, that's great.
Yeah.
But you don't need to know how I vote. You don't need to know, you know what I mean? You don't need to know what side my inside leg is.
Yeah. Absolutely. When I would imagine with the Game of Thrones thing, probably, you know, there's so much gossip and celebrity garbage that surrounds that. I'm sure people have tried to figure that out.
Well, yeah, of course, man. You'd be surprised how forthright people are. I mean, there was a scene in season 1 where I wore the prosthetic penis. And I'll have literally. I mean, I'm on like a gay version of Tinder, I guess. I mean, there's quite a lot of fucking media people on it, but they don't show their face like I do. But I'm not afraid. Whatever. And people won't even say hello. They'll be like, "Was that your real dick?" I'm like, "Do you realize what you've just asked me there?
Yeah, come on, man.
Do you realize the question and the depth and the sort of coffin of shit that opens up? And you haven't even bothered to say hello."
Right, yeah. Like, what do you really want out of this interaction?
Yeah, so if I say yes, what's that going to mean to you?
Yeah.
And what does that mean that I think of you?
Right.
And if I say no, what's the follow-up to that?
Yeah, like, let's play this out. You know, like, what are you really trying to get out of this?
Are you at a pub quiz?
People are weird.
Maybe they're texting me from a pub quiz. I don't fucking know.
Somewhere.
Yeah,
I
like
hope that's
Boise,
a question
Idaho.
on a pub quiz.
Yeah. Is Hodor's dick real?
Yeah.
Hang on, I saw him on Tinder. I gotta fucking ask him.
Oh, man. So, I mean, this is maybe the crux of it all, which is that...
The crotch of it all.
The crotch of it all, perfect. Which is, you know, so you've been DJing, you've got your residency in Belfast at this club, and then my impression is that the Game of Thrones just kind of came sideways and upturned a lot.
Fucking hurricane.
Yeah. I mean, is that accurate?
No.
Okay.
But you know what? People have said it recently. I've got messages and stuff on Twitter, and they're starting to realize that I really am multimedia. I've always been multimedia, and I refuse to just be one thing.
Yeah.
I've always been that way. I'm fucking good at stuff. Deal with it. You know what I mean? We all have our stuff.
Oh, I admire that, man, because for me, I've just had the one thing. Music's been my one thing, and I always kind of wished I had another thing.
It's just the way some people are. And some people are ambidextrous.
Right.
Some people aren't. Some people have a low attention span, which is probably me. So I maybe flip it onto something else.
Sure.
Some people would say jack of all trades, master of none. Maybe
I'll
go with that one. So a bit more humility there.
So, you're right. So I mean,
I am good at stuff. There's certain stuff I'm not good at. I'm not good at being tidy.
Right.
I'm not good with money.
Right.
I'm not good at relationships, commitment. Well, I suppose that's the same thing.
Yeah.
But there are some things that I'm damn good at.
Well, I mean, did you have trouble pre-Game of Thrones, kind of focusing on what you did want your career to be?
Yeah, because I saw the dance music scene changing, and I was just a resident. I mean, I'd done very well as a resident.
Right.
And I probably top of my game as a resident could be in Belfast or in Ireland.
Right.
But I was kind of going, what next?
Yeah, how do you break out of that?
I would see like older DJs on the scene, and they were sort of not really what I would like wanted to. No disrespect, because they're very happy in what they're doing, but not for me.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that my journey had ended just yet. And fuck me, was I right? I'd always sort of kept a foot in the dramatic side of it all. I would do occasional, when I say occasional, we're talking about once every 2 years, like maybe an audition for something. And this guy was sort of acting as an agent for me, really loosely. And he always said, Kristian, you've got this thing about you. I don't know what it is. You've just got this thing, and people like you. And I think when people see you on camera or when you get yourself out into the world, it's just going to take off for you. He always said that. He said it from nowhere. I was like, bullshit. I was like, you're talking to your arse.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe that shit.
You were just focused on DJing.
Yeah, I focused on whatever I was doing at the time. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. And then one day I got a call on the way down to meet my friends at Union Street, and it's a bar connected to the Kremlin. I was going down for lunch, and he was like, "Oh, Kristian, I've got this call for an audition. Can you meet me in 15 minutes? And we need to find a child." And I think my initial response really was like, "But I'm going for lunch.
Right.
I don't really want to."
Yeah.
Imagine I didn't do that.
Yeah, oh man.
I was that close, dude. I was like, "Oh, I'm hungry."
And we need to find a child.
Yeah, we need to find a child for scale and also to put him on your shoulders and just to show how you look.
Right.
We did. We found a child. I did an audition, which is up on the internet. It's terrible. And auditioning is a craft in itself. And it took me a long time to get there, and I'm still not there. Audition is a horrible thing. But I'm trying to learn how to enjoy it. It's nerve-wracking. You can never give your best performance in an audition.
Not. I mean, it's like a job interview, but even weirder,
Yeah. So there was that, and I did the audition, and I was like, this is weird. Why do I only say one word? And I didn't get the whole thing, and put it off into the universe.
Right.
And it came back that the actual casting director had asked for this tape specifically, because I'd met her a few years beforehand for Hot Fuzz.
Oh, the movie Hot Fuzz, yeah.
And wasn't quite right for that part, mainly because I was probably drunk in the interview or the audition, because I'd come straight from playing a nightclub.
Right.
And yeah, the whole response was like, "You're the one. We can't get you out of our head for this part." And the next thing, can you meet the David and Dan, the showrunners? That didn't mean anything to me at the time.
Right.
I didn't really know anything about HBO. I knew it was a large American network, but that was about it. And I told my mother that I'd just done an audition, and she was like, what's it for? And I said, Game of Thrones. And she said, oh, shit. I've read those books. And I was like, really? And my mum reads a lot of weird shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, does this mean it's going to be weird? And she said, well, it's a bit weird in places, but like, think Lord of the Rings. And she said, I don't mean it's not the same, but think of that scale. And you're getting kind of close. And I was like, really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I should probably have taken this a bit more seriously.
Right.
Yeah, and lo and behold, they offered me the part, and never dreamt that I'll be sitting in San Diego with an oceanfront view.
Yeah, all these years
podcasting.
Later.
Yeah, I never thought, and things continue to get better and better.
When they offered it to you, was there a thought of like, oh, this might get in the way of my DJing? Or,
no, because I was still in that stage of what am I going to do next?
Yeah. Was there any kind of thought of just like, oh, this is like a weird, I only say one word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. And do you know what? Even for the first season of the show, I think, I just don't think I owned it. You know what I mean? I had to really be him. And then I fell in love with him. I love Hodor. I love the character. I really love him. It's such a beautiful character.
As does everybody else in the world, I think.
Whatever. It made me blush for some reason. It's not me. I'm a horrible bitch. That's what I like to tell people anyway. Yeah. I miss him terribly. I miss playing the character. I do. I miss the show. But it was time to move on. And although I'm still doing a lot of Game of Thrones stuff because it's still current.
And now, you're still, you're here for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You're doing a show tonight where I assume a lot of Hodor fans will be there.
Well, I hope so. Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, there's a big space to fill.
Right. Well, and that's worth talking about is that, you kept DJing while you were doing Game of Thrones, right?
I would literally play till 3 a.m. on, like, Sunday night, and I'll be in at 6:30. And makeup. Yeah. And just do a full day.
Oh, man.
It was brutal, man.
That sounds... Was there, from the show, was there any kind of concern that they, didn't
No.
want you splitting your time or anything.
No.
That's
I don't
good.
care about me.
No, that's good.
No, I do it that way.
Fair enough. As long as you showed up, they were good.
No, they were good. They were very good. But at the end of the day, the job had to be done.
Yeah.
You know, and that was all on me. I mean, they said that you had to be. This is a serious commitment, and yeah, I know.
When you have a fear of commitment, as you said.
That's only on a personal level.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I'm okay professionally.
Yeah.
On a professional level, no, personal level. Yeah, I am a little afraid.
Yeah, that's understandable, man. I think a lot of people deal with those kinds of issues.
Well, it's because I move so much. I move around so much, and
it's hard, right, with that kind of lifestyle.
I'm very good at seeing things from the sky. I mean, I can overlook situations with me as another person. I mean, I sort of see things objectively, and I just don't think it's very fair on anybody
to just, say, hey, come along on this ride.
Only for a certain part.
Right.
And then at some stage, I have to go and do my own thing, and
yeah,
it's not always ideal, unfortunately.
As you went on with the show and as people did start to know you as a public figure and you started doing the Rave of Throne tours, how did that idea come about?
It wasn't mine. I was very resisting of the idea at first. I didn't want to combine DJing. I didn't see how.
Right.
I didn't see why.
Yeah, too much of a gimmick or
yeah,
something.
Because I was so desperate not to be gimmicky.
Right.
Honestly, so we went to Australia, I believe it was, and the Australians are just like, fuck it, we'll do a Rave of Thrones too. That's the worst Australian accent I have ever heard. Honestly, if you're a casting director, I can do better.
Yeah.
They stuck this name on the tour, and lo and behold, people loved it. But it did something else for me. It did that thing which we were talking about earlier. It brought people who like sci-fi, and it brought people who like fantasy, people who like to dress up, and people who'd heard maybe lesser at the start because they hadn't heard me.
Right.
But it brought all these different types of people together, and these weren't necessarily house music fans, but they got into it.
Yeah.
And I was like, hold on a minute, this reminds me of old clubs. This reminds me of the old vibe.
Sure, a mixed crowd.
Exactly. And they're all just vibing to the music. And you'd have people dressed as, like, I'd be playing maybe a super underground house song. You'd see someone dressed as fucking Daenerys, like, loving this man. And like, this is great. Right. I love this. And this is exactly what I think DJing's about.
And you were talking about, coming from an era where people going to the clubs would wear outlandish things.
Exactly.
And
exactly, man.
There was much less of a dress code back then, right? And you were almost encouraged
I'm going
to
to put my Calvin Klein shirt on. We're going to get some bottle service.
Right.
What are those shit?
Yeah. That's a bizarre, I'm not even going to get into that. But bottle service culture, man, I can't relate on any level.
I know, man. But my friends, mostly I have to say, I'm sorry, guys, American friends. But yeah, we're coming to see you tonight. We've got a table booked. We've got a table. And like, what? I don't want you to have a table.
Right.
I want you to be sweating over the dance floor.
Yeah, exactly.
What good is that to me? I want you to be absolutely fucked up.
Right.
At the end of the night, I want your knees to be sore.
Yeah.
I want you from giving blowjobs in the toilets.
Yeah, sure. All of you.
Yeah, every single one of you. I can't be with your partner.
Right.
They have to wait here.
Yeah, there are specific rules. They're posted over there.
I just want people to let their fucking hair down.
Yeah.
I straightened my hair before I came out, and I don't want to get it moist. I'm like, fuck off. I'm a mess when I come out of clubs. See, when I finish DJing, it's always been the way. I could literally wring my t-shirt out.
I'm the same way.
Partly anxiety. And
Oh yeah. I used to be a lot heavier than I am now, and I still sweat like I am heavier.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm the same.
I think
way.
it's probably anxiety a wee bit.
Yeah.
I sweat more when the crowd thins out a bit. You're like,
yeah.
Your sweat glands start to enlarge.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And
I
I'm
think
just a spaz too.
You're a spaz.
Yeah, it's one of those like Jekyll and Hyde things,
Right.
Because I'm like a quiet, awkward guy. Otherwise, and then I get up there and it's like, who is that guy?
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm focused. When I get out there, I'm quite scatty, really. But when I get on stage, I'm like a laser beam. And I mean, I don't consider myself to be a diva, but man, see when someone gives me shitty equipment, that's how to really fucking rub my lemon.
Really?
When I go out there and
rub my lemon.
Or as you know, the DJ before has unplugged this fucking shitty fucking 29-year-old Mac.
Right.
And he's left one of the decks unplugged. And I'm going like, what have you fucking done?
That drives me crazy.
Like, there's a couple of thousand people there, and I'm standing here looking like
especially when it's your show, right? Because over the years, I mean, you did the Rave of Thrones tours. You've played all around the world at this point. And I would imagine you start seeing people coming back, right? Yeah. And so once it's your show, once they're there to see you, then if something technical messes up, they're like, it's your fault.
My fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. No matter what happens, it's always the DJ's fault. Always the DJ. And people start whistling and booing, and it's like, shut up. It's not my fault, but you can't say that. I usually do that. I'll lift this. If the sound goes out, I will lift up the two CDJs and show that it's still playing.
Right.
It's not me.
Yeah.
Sort your shitty sound system out.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I'm always blowing sound systems up.
Yeah, I've done that.
I'm famous for it. I did a festival in Texas called Middlelands.
Oh, Middlelands, yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Middlelands is amazing.
Yeah. So I did that a couple of years ago and had this massive set of monitors.
Yeah.
My tour manager goes, is that how loud they go? Yeah, it's more than loud enough. And he's like, no, it's not. It needs more headroom here. He's going to build them up. And they were like, no, this is fine. Not only did they build the speakers up, I built the front of the house up.
Oh.
So you're welcome, guys.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Electric Daisy.
What can you do? Well, where are you with it now? You know, in 2018, what's your focus? I mean, obviously you're here DJing, you're still touring, but it's
hard to focus, man, when you're constantly moving.
Right.
And I really am constantly moving. I feel like I'm not putting out fires. Maybe I'm starting fires. Maybe I start fires wherever I go. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm a massive perfectionist when it comes to tracks, and I still don't feel that I've found my signature sound. I've released a few tracks over the years, which I'm very happy with, but I don't feel like I've found the sound that makes it me.
Right.
Yet. And I'm still working on that, man. And I've been holding on to this track for a year now, and it's absolutely driving me incredibly insane. And it's great, it has potential.
But you just haven't.
I just need to make it me.
Yeah.
It's just something I need to do to make me go, yes,
right.
This is different now. And I'm working on it, man. I'm working on finding the right vocals. It's a lot to put together when I'm constantly moving.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to find the time, I would imagine. And you're still acting as well,
right?
I'm
still doing all the publicity stuff.
Trying to do everything.
I mean, I have to do everything.
Yeah.
I've got a family to support.
Absolutely.
2 dogs and a mother.
Absolutely.
3 dogs and a mother.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. I mean, that's all any of us can do.
Yeah, and that's all I want out of life. I mean, I want to buy my mum a house. I've done that. I wanted to buy her a nice car. I've done that. The rest of it is just gravy for me. As long as I can keep myself going and not worry about stuff, as long as I'm happy and everyone's happy, I don't.
So you don't have any, specific goals for, I'd like to be a full-time DJ or full-time actor or.
No, I'm full-time Kristian Nairn.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah,
and I really am that.
Well, maybe that's the goal, right? Is to be able to still do all the things you
forever
want to do. Yeah.
I don't see. Certainly, no other fucker in the world is going to tell me that I can't do anything.
Right.
Because that's the recipe for things to happen. Because it's always been the way. That's why I did drag. Because someone said, "You're too big to do drag, or you look stupid." And I went, right. Yeah. Okay. And I did it. And I traveled all over the world as well.
Yeah.
And I was very successful.
Has that been a driver for you, like proving people wrong?
No.
Yeah.
For drag, yes.
Right.
Just then.
Yeah.
But no, people's opinions aren't that important to me. But I just don't like people to try and put roadblocks in my way.
Yeah.
Because I'll fuck them out the way as best I can. Sometimes they're too big. Yeah. I'll always give it a go.
Well, sure. And I mean, throughout this whole conversation, I really like your story, man, because I'm sure you've seen it as much as I have. You travel around to all these different cities, and every club you play at, there's so many talented people, locals, residents, whatever it might be, that you see working on it. We're all trying to do the same thing at the end of the day. And I really love that you were able to sort of take this unexpected massive thing, which is Game of Thrones, and still maintain why you were there in the first place.
I wouldn't do it any other way.
Yeah,
I wouldn't let myself.
I love it, man, and I
love it too.
Yeah,
you know what? Without sounding like a twat, I am proud of myself because I realized that the first even the resident years, I was lazy, man. I was a lazy person. And I never pushed myself as far as I could go. I have certainly, in the last 7-8 years, I've pushed myself farther than I ever have.
Yeah.
And I never stop working. I go home, I'll maybe sit and have a cup of tea or a glass of orange juice, and I'll go upstairs and I'll start emails.
Yeah.
And then that's the whole cycle started again.
Do you get anxious or do you like being in work mode?
I don't know how not to be.
Yeah.
I can't let go of that. It's opportunity, man.
Yeah.
Opportunity doesn't wait. You have to push.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is the more I open up to the world, and I haven't done fully yet, the more things seem to go well, and the more people seem to respond.
Yeah.
I never thought myself as that great a person, but people seem to like me. I don't know why. But I do think my honesty is sometimes disarming, and I'll never not be honest. I'll always call bullshit out when I see it. I don't want to be around people who are like that. And I think that's kind of unusual in my industry.
Well, that must have been strange to sort of, because Game of Thrones shot in Belfast a lot, right?
Yeah.
And you were living there, and so all of that was happening, and then it must have been strange to sort of come into Hollywood or wherever for press and have that kind of experience, coming from your home, which is
because
weird.
it's home. I would go home at the end of the day and have my meat and 2 vegetable dinner with my mum, and and then which is great.
Yeah,
it's so good. And then you'd be coming to LA and it's like, Mr. Nairn, would you like some sushi? We'll bring it to your trailer. And I'm like,
and I can only imagine dealing with press and sort of the people just the hangers on, any of that who just want to be associated with.
I still get in trouble all the time, man. I get in trouble with sound bites because they'll take things out of context, and I don't care at this stage because it's going to happen whether I do it or not.
Right.
I mean, as I say, I try to be honest without being rude, because obviously there's a line of decorum you don't want to cross, and obviously, and I have a responsibility to my fellow actors. And
did they give you media training?
No, it's just human training.
Right. Yeah.
Is that not normal humanity?
Right.
I think some people could do with some human training.
Sure.
But,
a lot of people in Hollywood, in fact.
Yeah, but I love it here, man. I do. I've got some really good friends here, and I think that's what the key in Hollywood.
I've always said that. You just
have
got
to have
find
a good bunch
people.
of people. Yeah. And I really enjoy being here. I am planning to move here, actually. Maybe in a year or two's time, but I'm not moving to there.
Right.
I'm not moving to LA. I'm moving to Utah because I absolutely love that state.
Interesting.
It's absolutely beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
And the people are nice, no matter what anyone says.
Yeah. Oh, no. I've had some great times in Utah.
Yeah, Utah's fucking awesome. I get annoyed sometimes because I'll be like, I'm moving to Utah. And they're like, not like that, though. Sorry, I don't know why I put the accent on. I'm moving to Utah. And people are like, why? It's so boring. It's the Mormons and there's no alcohol. And why are you going to do that? And I'm like, have you been there?
Yeah.
And they're like, no. And it will then go and see why. Because the people are fucking lovely.
Yeah.
It's healthy. Scenery is beautiful. It gets 4 seasons. Property prices are cheap.
Oh, yeah, it's an hour flight from LA.
Exactly.
If you need to get to LA.
San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, Denver, even Chicago, they're all within 2-hour flights.
Yeah.
I mean, that's perfect for me.
And how do you see yourself, the last couple of questions, in 2018, how do you see yourself as a DJ, as a musician, kind of fitting into sort of the bigger picture of what's happening in dance music right now? Do you feel like you fit in?
I don't know what's happening in dance music. I have no idea.
Okay.
What's happening in dance music.
You just don't
I listen to my tracks. I get my promos. I listen to the stuff I like. I don't know what's big. What's big at the minute? I mean, what you say is big here is not going to be big in Europe.
Right.
When you travel as much as I do, I really don't know what's big in dance music at the minute. What is big? You tell me.
I mean, there's in the U.S., there's a few different movements. It kind of depends on who you ask. I mean, house is sort of having a comeback in various forms.
Yeah. That annoys me in a way. I mean, because for me, house has never gone off the boil. I mean, it's always been there.
Yeah.
It always is going to be there.
And that's true. You're right. Yeah, I think any music genre just has,
people say about what sound like the old fogey who says back in the day. But think about how many generations house has crossed already.
Yeah, decades.
Yeah,
decades and decades. And what I was going to say is, I think we're seeing this with EDM in the States right now, is that in the last 5-10 years, there was this big commercial explosion and all this money and people, all this attention. And now I think the wave is maybe starting to crest a little bit. And now we're seeing a lot of it kind of going back underground and some of those underground sounds coming back.
Yeah.
Good.
And,
yeah, which is good. I mean, I think some people are having a harder time making money, but for
Yeah, that's
culture,
not good,
I think
but-
those cycles are important, you know?
They are. I mean, it's always going to happen.
Yeah.
It happens in everything.
Oh, 100%, man. And so for you, I'm just interested, you know, you travel all over. You've done, what, a bunch of Ibiza shows?
Yeah,
and-
I've got some coming up now.
Yeah.
After this, I'm heading to Tomorrowland.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I'm straight over to Ibiza.
How has the reception been from other, like, the DJs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, Danny Tenaglia, who's my DJ's DJ.
Incredible, legendary DJ.
Yeah, like he commented on my set and Outpost in New York, and I was just like,
He was a fan, yeah.
yeah, man. And like my tour manager is, he's sick of people going, he can really DJ, and he's going like, yeah, yeah, I know, yeah. He hears it every gig.
Yeah.
Still, people are like, fuck me, he's really good, and he's just like, you know, I literally hear this in every fucking city, because still people expect me to come on and make a fucking wet lettuce out
Right.
of myself on the stage. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
just hear for the money.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't understand why people have to have so many perceptions, and like I'm an authentic person,
Right.
And so you know what? When I think about people like Paris Hilton and stuff, automatically it's to condemn and be like,
Right.
my God, if I was going to get $100,000 or pounds for a DJ gig in Ibiza every week,
Yeah, obviously.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'd be like, I will wear glittery headphones.
Yeah.
And is she happy doing it? If she's fucking happy doing it,
That's the thing.
let her do it.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And people want to see her.
It's so hard to make money in the music industry, period.
Yeah. But people think that someone more credible should be doing it. But if someone more credible doing it, the crowd wouldn't be there.
That's the thing, right?
And it's sad. It's sad, but it's
for,
the way-
for an underground artist to get mad at someone like Paris Hilton, it's like, well, but you wouldn't want to be doing what she's doing. You know, it's like she's in a totally
it's
different
not as if
world.
she's stealing your money.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's not as if or stealing your crowd. It's a completely different crowd.
Right. I mean, feel free to, you know, make.
Let people do what they want to do.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
don't be
thing.
judging.
That's the thing, man.
Especially when you haven't met somebody or heard them. I mean,
It's what you said earlier, man. We don't know where these people come from. We don't know their backgrounds.
No, if the cat's died.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, if your cat has
Yeah.
just died, I'm very sorry for you.
My vet just called my cat a senior the other day. I was not happy about that.
What age is she?
He is 8 or 9. We don't really know.
What's his name?
Upgrade is his name.
No way, that's
Yeah.
a great name. I had a moment where I held, what's Dead Mouse's cat called?
Oh, Meowington.
Meowingtons.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I had him, and the other cat is not new, but there's another one, the grey one.
Right.
They were walking all over me in the house, and I was holding them. And I said, I'm holding a really famous cat. And that's something I probably will never say in my life again.
Celebrity cat. Yeah.
There's a photograph of me, like,
Yeah.
it's a famous pussy.
Right.
You know, and that's certainly in my life has never happened before.
Well, I was going to say, you could get in trouble if you say that.
Yeah. But it's a fact.
Well, what's coming up in the future for you, man? What should people be looking out
knows,
for?
man.
Are you mentioned producing more?
Yeah. I mean, we're working on stuff. I'm actually redoing some of the. I'm going to like update some of the tracks I did, like Up and Bacon and For Love. I'm going to redo them because they're fucking good tracks, man. And I feel that I didn't get the best out of them.
Yeah.
This time, so I'm going to redo them. I have this song, which is currently a working title, Evolve. Just the bane of my life, but it also could be the best thing.
Right.
I'm working on these. I'm working on some new stuff. I've got like a series of about three remixes, not remixes, but reissues. But that's not the word. We've redone some old house music tracks.
Sure.
I used to run an all-night house music venue in Belfast. My friend and I DJed it back to back together, and we thought this is like maybe 16 years ago, in like the heyday of like Curtis Mantronics, Shapeshifters,
Right.
all that lot, Martin Solveig, early stuff, and we're like, God, we'd love to maybe update some of these tracks just
Right.
from that club. So we have a track coming out called Dancing, and it's an old track. It's an old Curtis Mantronics track, and I've just sort of brought it up to date
Right.
with some newer sounds.
I
And
love that.
It's just like an homage to that nightclub we used to
Sure.
work in, and but I think it's good. I mean, the whole funky people are calling it, what is it, techno disco,
Sure.
which to me is just funky house.
Right,
you know?
right.
That's quite big in England and the rest of the UK at the minute, and so I think it could do something. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, I love just updating the old songs so that they just are on par sonically with the current
Yeah,
levels of production.
exactly.
Yeah,
no,
I
it's
love
more
that.
than that though. It's more. There's more to it than that.
Right.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's hard to listen to them if you play them in a club.
Yeah.
You can't do it anymore. And it's a shame.
It is. And I mean, recreating something isn't always the same as just the original vibe. You know what I mean? And so I love it when people kind of go back and update those things.
Yeah, me too.
You know, we were talking earlier about sort of keeping that culture alive. I think that's one way to do it. Is, you know, play something that sounds modern but is a reference to something older, and that's maybe a way you can educate people without really being preachy.
Preachy? Are you saying I'm being preachy? You looked at me funny there, you little shit.
Not at all.
Yeah, whatever. Oh, what a way to end.
Well, here.
Your purple headphones.
First of all, is there anything we didn't cover that you want to get out? Anything people should be looking out for? More tour dates, anything like that?
Yeah, man, just check my website, KristianNairn.com. I have a podcast out every month called Spectrum. It's on iTunes and all the usual shit on SoundCloud, Mixcloud. And I'm continuing to tour. I have a movie coming out called The Appearance, which should have a release date very shortly. It's just on the film festivals. And yeah, I'm working on a few things at the minute, so which can't really talk about.
Yeah.
So
fantastic, man. Well, the last question we usually end with is a random question. You don't have to think about it too hard. Just the first thing that pops into your mind.
Oh, God.
Just a time in your life, and this could be something recent or something from your childhood, whenever, that in a moment, music just really affected you deeply or really meant something to you.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
How can this not be a question I'm going to think much about? For me, that's an incredibly deep question.
Well, no, and it can be, and this is why I always say just the first thing that pops into your head, because it doesn't have to be significant. I kind of just like the random access.
Okay. It's just came. It's just came. And do you know what? There's a couple of more credible ones I had sort of floating around.
Right.
But this has to be it.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a Madonna track. I'm not even a Madonna fan. Well, I'm a little bit.
Yeah.
But, everyone's a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think I just broke it up with someone when I was a teenager. And I'd just been in college that day, and the rain was pissing out of the sky. And the track Madonna Rain came on, and I just remember standing there, hair all over my face, and it just made me feel better. And, I mean, it's just another one I can think of is just Kate Bush. There's a track she does called "In Search of Peter Pan." And God, you have to listen to that track, man. The lyrics are painful. And if you're a teenager who didn't really know where he was going, I remember I used to take like long, dark walks along. I lived in like farm, as I say, and we used to walk along the lane at night time. And I used to put on that track and sort of really search my soul. And I remember nights like that, really warm summer nights. And another track, you got me on fucking roll now. Like Play Dead by Bjork. When I first heard that track, man, fuck, I was going through some shit in my teenage years.
Yeah.
And that takes me right back there. It's the same to me as like a scent, because I can smell white musk now. And not you're not wearing
not
it.
Right now,
Lady's perfume. But if I smell white musk, I'm right back in my grandmother's bedroom.
Right.
Right back. And my grandmother's been dead now for 10 years.
Right. It's
and
incredible.
right back. And the same for me for music.
Yeah, it's incredible how a piece of music can just snap you back into a time or a feeling.
There's a dance music track by is a legendary hardcore sort of hard house producer called Tony DeVee. He's dead, unfortunately. And I got to see him just before he died. And he had a track with an artist called Diddy. It's called Give Me Love. And that, see if anyone ever played that track. I can still see the strobe lights, man. Still see the strobe lights. I wasn't even drunk.
Right.
Yeah, man. Oh, there's all sorts of tracks, man. Nights with my friends, I'll never forget. Like, dancing, like, or maybe on my own. Maybe left my friends sitting down and find my little space in the corner before I was a DJ.
Yeah.
Just, so many memories, man.
Yeah, I think I love all of
And that's
those.
why I'm so honored to be a DJ, because I'm hoping that someone out there is having the same feeling that I was having. That's what means so much to me.
And that's all we're trying to do, right? Is get back to those feelings, right?
Yeah.
Get back to, the things that made us feel so deeply. And then when you can share that experience and communicate about it through music, to me, I mean, I think I'm addicted to that, man. I think that's
totally,
probably,
man.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put out, I said it somewhere in the press at one stage, and it sounded super gay, but I'm allowed to say that I'm gay. It's like sending out emotional laser beams when you select these little tracks and you put it out there into the crowd. And if you're really lucky, they'll bounce back at you and you'll get to feel it. When that happens, it's just a symbiotic organism you become with the crowd.
Yeah.
And that's when it's really magic.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, that's to me maybe the most natural drug, right?
Yeah.
It, just like that unlocks some kind of chemical, some kind of release in your brain.
Totally, man.
I don't even know what it is, but yeah.
It's like that thing, you know, when you're having a mediocre night, you're looking at your watch, you're going, how have I played 4 tracks and only 2 minutes has passed?
Right.
But then when you're having a night like that, you're like, an hour and a half is gone, 2
Yeah.
hours is gone. You're like, what?
Yeah, you're right. It'd be like reality can bend, you know, time
Yeah.
can change. It's so, I love thinking about that.
You'd be playing worst music, and you'd be like, this is just unbelievable. I mean, I literally have played 15 tracks and 1 minute's gone. Like,
Right.
where I'm in sort of time loop.
How is this possible? Yeah. Oh, man.
Oh, fuck.
Well, this has been great, man. Thanks so much for sitting
You're
down
so
with
welcome.
me.
Likewise, man. I've
Yeah.
had fun. Thank you, buddy.
All right. Peace. All right, that's the show. I want to thank Kristian Nairn for coming on and talking to me. So much fun to have that conversation. Make sure to check him out at kristiannairn.com. The link is in the description of this episode. My name is Willy Joy. You can hit me up backtobackpod@gmail.com or at Willy Joy or at backtobackpod on all social media. This was a fun one. I like throwing you guys some curveballs from time to time. Got some really great stuff planned for you. But for right now, I got to run. I love you guys. I love everyone out there listening. For Back to Back, I will talk to you next week. Peace.